Serving the Lord always brings a few surprises. Welcome to Missionary Moments. I'm Joe Consford, and I am really glad you're here. Let's take a look at what God has been doing lately. Well, I was talking with our son the other day about his recent camp trip, and he gave me the whole rundown. It sounds like camp is doing exactly what camp is supposed to do. When you are a kid or even a young adult, sometimes you just need a place to show up, be yourself, and get saturated with good teaching and good fellowship. That is what this camp provided for him. They were up early for devotions, led by the assistant captains. Our son said it was good, even though he did not understand most of it. And that is just part of camp life over there, you know. You show up, you participate, and you pick up more than you think you do. Sometimes the Lord works in ways we cannot fully grasp in the moment. You just have to trust Him. Breakfast was good. Morning service followed, then split sessions, then lunch. It was a standard camp schedule, moving at full speed. Every day on the mission field feels a bit like that, doesn't it? From early morning until late at night, there is always something to do, always someone to talk to, always a need to meet. We are getting ready for our GH departure season here in just a month or so, and those days will be just as packed. The afternoon is where things got interesting. They made a quick trip back to the hotel to grab off clothes for games, and then the afternoon turned into full water game chaos. The water balloons were homemade, tied off from small plastic bags. Sponges were involved. A lot of water was involved. Our son said everybody got soaked, and nobody seemed to care a bit. There is something liberating about letting go of appearances and just enjoying the moment. They cleaned up, had supper, and headed into the Wednesday night service, which was also the third service of camp. A visiting pastor preached on finding the right person to marry. Our son said it was a blessing and a real help to a lot of the campers, including himself. That one was good to hear, as a dad, you know, when your kids hear a message that speaks to them. After the service, they played a few more games, then finally made it back to the hotel around 11 at night to catch a few hours of sleep before doing it all over again. It sounds like a great day, y'all. Tired, soaked, and better for it. It really does connect with me, thinking about how we are so focused on getting so much done in life, but sometimes the best days are the ones where we are just present, soaking up what God has for us, even if we are completely worn out by the end of it. That kind of experience prepares us for the bigger things God has in store. Now, that is what is happening on the ground over here. But before we finish up today, let's open the Word of God for just a minute. We will be right back. That kind of experience our son had at camp, being tired, soaked, and yet better for it, reminds me of a principle we often see in our walk with the Lord. Sometimes the most meaningful growth comes not from perfect understanding at the outset, but from faithful participation. Our son admitted he did not understand everything at the camp devotions, but he was there. He participated, and he was blessed by the simple act of showing up. We often expect to have all the answers, to fully grasp every theological point before we commit ourselves to a path of service or obedience. But God very seldom works that way, does He? He invites us to step out in faith, to be present in the moment, to simply show up for Him. We may not always understand the language of a new culture or the cultural context of a ministry or even the immediate purpose of a particular challenge He places before us. But when we faithfully engage, the Lord builds something profound within us. He changes us for the better. It is like planting a seed. We do not fully comprehend the entire biological process that will turn that tiny seed into a mighty tree. But we plant it, we water it, and we trust God to do the growing. In the same way, when we immerse ourselves in His Word, when we spend time in prayer, and when we participate in the work of His church, we are planting seeds. We are faithfully showing up for Him, even when the results are not immediately clear. And God promises a harvest from that faithful participation. It may not always be what we expect or when we expect it, but His faithfulness is true. We see this truth echoed throughout the Scriptures. Consider the words found in Romans chapter 10, verse 14. How then shall they call on Him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in Him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? That passage lays out a clear progression, doesn't it? It all begins with hearing. And for someone to hear, a preacher must be sent. This isn't just about formal ministry, y'all. It is about each of us as believers being present and ready to share the good news. We are called to participate in that chain of belief. It is not about fully grasping every single detail of God's plan before we take a step of faith. It is about taking the step. It is about showing up where God has placed us, ready to be used by Him. Let me leave you with the words of Psalm chapter 118, verse 24. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Well, that is all the time we have for today. We are just so thankful for each and every one of you who stand with us and for your faithful support for the work in Ghana. Until next time, remember to keep praying, keep giving, and keep going. I'm Joe Consford. God bless y'all.